My boyfriend is about to propose, but I've been hiding a massive secret.
Oh, how massive.
Using a throwaway account because he is a Redditor, so he might see this. With some identifying info left out and a few timeline details smudged to stay anonymous. This is a hugely emotional story, and I am crying as I write this. Many of the details I have kept secret for years and have not told a soul. Going from 0 to 100 real quick. This is a story where I am unquestionably in the wrong, and I've known about it for years.
Self-aware and rare.
By the way, this comes from Throwaway Liar too. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So first off, we have an amazing relationship. I love him more than I can ever hope to describe, and I want to spend the rest of my life with him. Eventually, we had kids, and we want to grow old together. Other than this admittedly huge thing, I want to know what that huge thing is. I have no reservations after over 6 years together. So for a little backstory, I have stereotypical Asian parents where success and results in school were extremely important from an early age. I realized in middle school that if I didn't tell them about bad grades, then I wouldn't feel the shame of disappointing them. You've learned to lie.
What a solution!
I developed a slacker attitude through high school, but managed to do well enough through smart laziness to get into university. I wanted to study engineering. Sorry for being vague.
Niche university, niche degree.
Yeah, niche degree. We love these niche degrees.
Oh, yeah.
So the summer after our high school graduation is when we started dating. High school sweethearts. That's pretty sweet.
It can be great or it can be dangerous.
At this point, I left for college, and he stayed back in our hometown to take classes in community college. We were able to continue our relationship semi-long distance. My dorm was less than a 2-hour drive away, and we took turns visiting each other at nearly every weekend. Through a series of non-relevant poor decisions on my part, I did poorly in school and was put on academic probation.
Uh-oh.
We got a bad kid. I ended up moving back home for a year, taking classes at the community college. I was terribly depressed and did poorly, but lied to my parents that I did well. The simple solution to all of your problems: lie. And ended up telling my boyfriend this as well. My justification at the time was that I did not want him to have to cover for me. In hindsight, this is unfortunately where my spiral of lying about my education became a habit. Yikes.
The ICUs they're popping up above the bush.
If you guys see those ICUs, tell us.
Let us know.
By saying ICU.
Oh, God.
Well, his application to transfer and my application to resume school were accepted for the fall semester, and we both moved. Separately, I would have liked to move in with him, but knew my parents would never allow it. We moved to the town where the university is located. To be able to continue at school after the semester, I would have to get good enough grades to pull my GPA out of the gutter, or else I'd be academically suspended due to the damage I had done to my GPA the original first semester. At this point, I had resolved to unalive myself if I couldn't get the next semester. OP and anyone going through rough college or high school stuff, the grade is not everything. There is life after an F.
Yes.
I assure you. I mean, just look at John, you know.
Dude, I'm an idiot.
John,
but I made it, baby.
John did not do a tectonic plate class.
No.
Yet here he is. You don't need to know about tectonic plates to frickin' do well in life.
I know about content.
He knows about content. He's got a PhD in TikTok.
Yeah.
And that will get you further than knowing about the plates.
Exactly.
So again, it's not that deep. School, I did amazing in my degree classes, but ended up ignoring my other classes because I was not interested in them, despite what was at stake. I ended up doing better than my first semester, but not good enough to prevent academic suspension. I am through. I will not be able to continue school in fall. My habit punts in, and I smile and tell everyone that I did well, as I am wondering to myself how I will unalive myself. Oh. Over the summer, though, I find that he is my reason to live, this boyfriend, that I could never unalive myself because I know it would hurt him so deeply. I pretend that summer will never end, that I will never have to deal with the reality that I have failed out of school. Much to my surprise, near the end of the summer, I get a move-in packet for the university-owned apartments that I had stayed in last semester and had planned to move back into for the next school year. It is a condition on the lease to stay in these apartments that you must have a minimum of 12 credit hours at the university to live there, but due to some fluke, they did not know that I would not be taking classes due to my suspension. So OP might be able to like still lie that she's going to school.
Wow. And just like
The lie continues.
make it in there.
Yeah, I mean, because she's like, she could still just go to class
Yeah.
and stay in the university housing.
Wow. I see this becoming more precarious.
Oh, boy.
Unfortunately.
Oh, boy.
Sam, do you want to do a trigger warning for that?
Trigger warning, depression and self-harm. It is vague enough that I feel like maybe it's okay, but
That may have been the only mention of it. But,
yeah, I think that was the only mention.
But still, I'll put that in the notes.
But I've not told anyone about my suspension, so the path of least resistance is to move back into the apartments. Okay. I devised an elaborate lie to my parents about how I wish to pay my own tuition through loans so they can afford to put my sister through school next year. Oh my God.
Getting deeper.
This is not stopping. They are so proud of me. I perish a little on the inside knowing what I'm doing. Oh, the next 2 years are amazing for me and my significant other because I don't actually have any classes to attend or homework to do. It's like all the benefits of school without the school.
All
I am
right.
able to spend a lot of time with him, much more time than would be possible otherwise, especially with me supposedly in a tough engineering program. But he doesn't notice, and we are madly in love. Despite my laziness and terrible work ethic, I'm actually very good at math and tutor him through both calculus and physics. Due to feeling useful in some way, as well as significantly helping someone I deeply love, I slowly get over my self-loathing and can view myself as something other than the useless pile of nothing I previously thought I was. I brush off questions of how my own classes are going with lies I've been telling for over a decade at this point. Again, the OP started lying in high school. I'm doing well. I got an A- on my midterm. Homework was long, but I'm done now. I have only vague plans for how I will end the lie at this point. I tell myself that I will work up the courage to tell my parents I am failing and will be quitting school, but as time goes on, I just keep telling the small lies that my education is going well. Then after Christmas, disaster strikes out of the blue. The apartment manager has found out that I am not enrolled in any classes. I realize, though, after speaking with him, that he cannot see my transcript, but only my current enrollment status. Do you think OP is going to tell the truth?
Oh, I wish it were so.
No.
not.
I lie to him and say that it was last semester that I had difficulty, and I am in the process of enrolling in night classes to repair my GPA. OP is quick with it. OP is quick with it.
I mean, she's had it, bro.
She's
she
had
has
years.
a decade of experience. Put that on your LinkedIn.
Yeah, dude.
I have a decade of experience in lying.
I mean, you could be a lawyer or like, I don't know, what else?
Who else lies?
con man?
Criminals? I don't know.
Criminals.
Yeah, work for
Crypto
the
scammer?
mafia. or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
I am in the process of enrolling in night classes to repair my GPA. There is a clause in the lease allowing for this. I enroll in night classes, but have no motivation to take classes that won't count towards my degree. So at least OP is in night classes, but she's not taking. Selection is very limited, and I realize that this is only a temporary solution. I realize my only way out of this is to move out of these apartments, and seeing as our relationship is now almost 4 years old, I decide with my boyfriend to move in with him in a new apartment of our own next semester. So again, instead of OP telling the truth that she's been kicked out of school, for 2 years now?
It looks like 2 years.
Almost 2 years, is that
Yeah.
right? I'm going crazy.
Almost about 2 years. Yeah.
Almost 2 years. She's like, I'll just say I'm going to be living with my boyfriend, and then I'll never have to tell the truth.
I wonder what she's doing all day. Like,
Dude, she's chilling.
And
she's hanging out with
also-
her boyfriend.
did I catch this right? That she was like, "Oh, I can take out the loans to be able to," because she's. I mean, granted, she's just paying for housing, but
My understanding is, no, I think she's like, hey, parents, you don't take out loans for me. I'm going to pay it all myself.
right.
Ugh.
Oh man,
Man,
oh man.
For the first time in my life, I openly defy the wishes of my parents and tell them that I am moving in with them. They complain, worry about how it will go, but because I've decided to get a job to pay for my half of the rent, they cannot stop me. For the first time in my life, my own desires have won out over my parents. I guess that's progress in some way.
That is progress in some way. I will say that.
Maybe this will be like the kick in the pants, her caught on fire pants, to finally tell her parents more things that will make them upset. Like, I've been lying for you for the past 2 years.
Could be. It could be.
At this point, I'm ready to end my college charade, but I come to the horrifying truth. My previous exit plan for the lie, to fake a later dropout, will now make my parents hate my significant other. They will think that it is his fault. I'm also too scared to expose the lie as well because I know he will be disappointed. I've been lying to him too, both to prevent him from having to lie for me to others. Up to this point, though, it has only been a huge amount of small lies about being in class or how I was doing in school. I mean, but like, it's not small lies.
It's your whole. I mean,
it's like, oh, like John, like ask me what I was up to today.
oh, what are you up to today?
Oh, like we had just like, some small operations we had to do on the ISS. Like I had to use like a wrench to fix one of the nuts on the outside of the spaceship. Just,
You're
small thing.
screwing nuts in space.
Screwing nuts in space.
That's that sounds
my
dangerous.
That's my job. That's my job.
Really?
Screwing nuts in space.
Really, it wasn't us like sitting in a room like working on all.
No. Screwing nuts in space. You might think that just because
Right.
like I go back and forth often.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but
multitask.
See, that is not a little lie.
That's pretty big.
It's a big lie about how I'm an astronaut in space working on the ISS. This is a big lie.
It like feeds down into everything in their life because like, oh, like, are we gonna? I feel like it just makes him ask, like you said earlier, what else is there? If you could lie about this, where's the trust in the relationship?
And where's the end of the lie? I mean, I feel like OP's identity is that of a student. She's lying about her entire, like a huge part of her identity.
Yeah.
All right. Question for chat. Question for you, John.
Talk to me.
Let's say OP comes clean
Yes.
and you are the partner.
Yes.
You staying or you breaking up? There's more to this story, by the way, but are you staying or are you breaking up? I want to know from chat. Maybe, Keon, can we do a little poll? Staying or breaking up, John?
I think the question here is, can trust be rebuilt?
I thought the question was staying or breaking up. The real question,
real question is,
your question
dude,
can go kick rocks.
Dude, I haven't
But
had a
my
real question in a while.
The real question.
Yeah. Probably not. I think this is probably too insurmountable. I also wonder how reliable of a narrator we have.
Yeah, I know.
If there weren't other lies sprinkled in.
I mean, if she's lying, she could be lying about how much she's lying.
Yeah. So, I think just not enough trust. I don't know if it can make it. Might have to break up.
Yeah, I'm in breakup camp if I'm BF. So far, 100% of chat is in breakup. One person.
Storm Kitten.
We're calling you out. Storm Kitten, explain yourself.
Sorry to rain on your parade.
Yeah.
But no.
That's crazy, Storm Kitten.
And the Ed boy.
Ed boy, what are you doing? Josephine, what are you doing? I feel like y'all are
now they're just doing it to mess with us.
they're just doing it to mess with us. There's no way.
Yeah. Riled up.
Well, most people like Natalie Nola and the Lawyer Princess and Jenny Gardner, like normal people,
yes.
It seems like they would break up.
If it was a few days, if it was a few weeks, different story.
Yeah.
Way too long.
2 years.
Way
That's
too
like most of their relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it's like do some counseling and then maybe break up. Anyway, 80% of chat says break up.
There we go.
Well, I know in the back of the head I will have to lie more, but I ignore the thought. We move in together and it is a wonderful summer. This is the part I am most ashamed about, not all the other stuff.
Oh, here we go.
The fall semester starts, and I now have to lie to him more than my parents. I come up with a fake schedule and make sure to be out of the apartment at these times every week, and somehow I'm still able to get campus meal plans, so we eat lunch on campus daily. I pretend my old textbooks are new and keep a binder full of old tests. His major isn't engineering. He can't tell the difference and doesn't suspect anything. The lies are too easy. Now she's gloating. I don't like this at all. We have a wonderful year living together and connect at a deeper level than I even previously thought possible. He eventually graduates, and I notice some holes in the process and realize that I can easily fake my own graduation next year. Bro, dude, I feel like OP's just going to get an engineering job. I feel like OP's going to fake a graduation, fake a resume, and all right. How often are like maybe the big engineering companies are like,
yeah,
all right, let me check like with the school. I have never had a job check my GPA. Never.
Yeah.
Never.
I didn't have a GPA to check.
Yeah. Yeah, see, you don't need a GPA.
Yeah. But no, it's like, could she essentially like get in to a job? I mean, this is, if you guys have heard of quiet quitting, like this is an extreme version, but she could go find like someone else essentially to like contract a lot of this work out to, like a developer, and then like basically
she could hire a developer to do her work.
Dude.
I know a guy that did that at Google. Or a guy. I know a guy who knows a guy
yeah.
who did that at Google and got fired.
Yeah, this is. I think she's reaching. Not that I thought it could happen, but even more dangerous levels. This is getting spooky.
This is getting spooky. And dude, I feel like this is the first time she's like kind of proud of it. She's like, and
Yes.
no one suspected a thing. Well, we stay in the same apartment while I finish school and he gets a job. My graduation, in air quotes, comes around. I buy the robes, the caps, the tassel, the graduation announcement, etc. There are too many students for them to do any personal ceremony. You just sit through the ceremony and then walk on stage and hand them your card, and they read your name and degree from the card. My whole family comes, as well as his. Oh my God! And we have all become very close at this point. His mother even spent Thanksgiving with our family, if that is your real family.
Oh, God.
His parents are divorced. I prepared a fake card using his form from last year. The announcer reads it. Who would suspect that I did not actually graduate when there is video evidence of me on stage shaking the dean's hand? I walk off the stage with my empty diploma cover. Actual diplomas are mailed later. We celebrate and everyone is so proud of me. I almost believe it myself that I've graduated. Holy crap! Ganoda says, she is way too good at this. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and just to assuage any disbelief about being able to sneak into a graduation, there's a pretty big YouTuber that snuck into the UCLA graduation and walked and got his name read out.
Dude, I was about to say, I think we need to go get like a Harvard, Yale. I think we just need to go get all the degrees.
Dude, I think so. I think so. Dude, collect every degree. We're going to be the most pedigreed men in all of history.
Why not?
Why not, bro? My God. Also, though, but sitting through those UCLA graduations, there's like 40,000, not 40, there's like 10,000 people. And it's just like, it's so boring.
Was yours fun?
Huh?
Was yours fun, your
No.
graduation ceremony?
No, it was so boring.
Christian and I had a really good time at our graduation ceremony.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you had some shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
We also had fireworks and everything.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ours
Wow.
was so lame, bro.
Dang.
Well, I almost believe it myself that I've graduated. And now we get to now. We have moved. And we both have great jobs. Well, I've managed to get a good job without a degree, and I have fudged the details to friends and families, telling them that the reason I have a job that doesn't match my degree is that I enjoy it more. But we've been talking lately about our future. We put off any specifics until after my graduation, but now that it's passed, we've gotten the serious talk out of the way. I know it's coming soon, and when he asks, I will be saying yes, but my big lie weighs on me. Other than the big lie, the most I've ever lied to him was the various white lies we tell to everyone we know. I've made it a point of it. I feel too guilty from the big one, and I know how hard it would be to stop if I started. The guilt is bad, and I think if I told him, he might even understand, and we could still have a future together. Even if it was the end of our relationship, I am a stronger person than I once was. Even if it is too much for our relationship, I know I wouldn't want to unalive myself out of the shame like I had wanted in the past. Those days are over. But if my family finds out, they won't understand. It will destroy what I now have with them, what they have with him. And if I tell him, either they find out too, or he becomes part of the lie. I don't want to put him through that, and I don't want to do either option. The easy choice is to take this secret, my big secret lie, to the grave. Because of my chosen career path, I don't think it will ever come up that I lack a degree. My employers know that I have partial college. It would be so easy to keep that fact in the dark. But even though our amazing relationship is otherwise free of lies, I feel so wrong knowing that this huge one exists. I feel cornered between hurting someone no matter what I do. And here is a summary of what I feel my choices are. We're going to get into those choices.
Yes.
That OP feels like they have. All right, here's a summary of what I feel my choices are. Choice 1, come clean to him first, and then to the rest of the family. He's going to break up. I would break up with this person.
Yeah.
Dude, I think I would break up. So, result, either we split or my family disowns me because I have lied to them so thoroughly for so long. I lied to their faces to keep the deception, and I am forever a disappointment to them. Both our lives are torn apart, even if our relationship survives. Choice 2, come clean to him and swear to secrecy. Result, either we split or I have now made him lie forever, tainting our relationship. This is a choice I refuse to take. Choice 3, I tell no one and hope it never comes to light. Result, I feel guilty for years, but gradually, maybe the guilt fades. If the lie comes out, It could be even worse, especially if we have kids when it does. I just don't know what to do. I know that I am in the wrong here, and I hope not too many people will dwell on that. I would change the past if I could, but that is impossible. I just don't know what to do. Do I come clean and destroy what we have, or do I take the easy path and continue the path I've been on for years? Edit, I'm headed to work, so I won't be able to respond until after my lunch break. There is more. But yeah, I mean, I think if you've built a life based on a lie, that's just going to suck. It's just going to suck.
Too much of a load to bear.
Yeah, dude, I cannot lie. I think I just burned it out of my tool set.
Yeah. You're a great truther.
And dude, I tell the truth too much. I tell the truth way too much, and it's way better than lying because at least everyone knows where you stand.
Yeah.
And so I could not fathom this amount to lie.
Dude.
But I would say the solution, if you are trying to get rid of the guilt and you're trying to live your best life, yes, it might be hard in the short term, but I really do think putting this in the light will build a better long-term future for you.
Yeah. And honestly, the chances are slim. I do think there is a chance that the boyfriend might understand.
I also think there's a chance. I also think there's a chance that the parents don't disown her.
Yeah. You know what? There's I think a good takeaway from the story is you never know what someone is going to respond with until you actually tell them.
And and don't speak for your family and your boyfriend. You know?
Totally.
I think you start with telling the boyfriend and see how that feels, and then eventually tell the parents. Kimberly Vine says, I'm not entirely convinced that it is actually possible. With this track record, she could probably pull off a time machine. Yeah, she is. I feel like she's got that engineering brain keeping track of all these lies.
Honestly.
I think what's weird about telling the truth all the time is sometimes the truth of action changes because we change. That feels deep.
Yes.
What does that mean, John, to you?
Maybe it's we change sometimes. So
our personal truths change.
In living our truths, maybe that changes. But yeah, that's as far as I can get.
I Bleed Red Bull 32 says, I'm staying. I can build the trust I've caught into the lie bunks and never brought it up. I hate confrontation. I get too angry. But let's see what the end of this story says. Edit 2, I've been reading everyone's messages for a couple hours, and I want to thank everyone for all of them, both the understanding and supporting ones and the negative ones too. You guys have said a lot of stuff that I needed to hear. Knowing that this situation is more common than I thought makes me feel like less of a sleazeball. This is common?
Uh-oh.
But I've also taken it to a crazy extreme. By the way, if you want to take us to a crazy extreme, you could go from just watching this little video to listening to 53 straight days of our podcast. Go to the extreme. Put us in your ear holes 24/7, whispering sweet nothings into your ear by listening to full episodes of stories just like this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the iHeart app, or your favorite podcast app. Just search OK Storytime. There's another relevant update. I'm going to get straight into it. I'm coming to the realization that I do have some sort of problem. Yes. And I need some sort of help. Yes.
Yeah.
I've always hated the idea of psychologists and mind-altering substances, and I always thought of therapists in the same way. But from what I have read in your comments, it sounds like this isn't the case, and I need to look into that seriously. I'll update more later, but I do want to tell him, but I'm not in the right mental state right now to do so, and that is where that story ends.
I'm checking if there's an update.
Yes.
Wow.
Please tell me there is an update, but holy moly, guac to the moly.
I mean, technically speaking, just in the universe of this story, she got away with it.
She got away with it. She pulled off the heist.
She said, catch me if you can, and they didn't.
Man, I think, again, if this isn't a poster child for telling the truth, is it a poster child for telling?
I think it's a poster child for lying, bro.
I don't know.
She's the most successful liar
She is
ever.
successful, but she feels bad about it.
How bad does she feel, though?
She feels bad enough to write, however long that story was.
Yeah,
that's a long story.
I think you're right. I think it's weighing on her.
I think it's weighing on her. I mean, that's a lot of lies.
Insane journey, and even more insane that she made it all the way through without telling anyone or it getting out.
Well, question for you guys. What do you think Opie should do? Tell the lie or tell the truth? Put your answer in the comments below. But Johnny Bahami.
Yes, sir.
Or Keon, do we have another story?
There's another story, yes. But update? There's no update.
No update.
It's just comments of her saying, like, yeah, my job accepted me. They don't need a college degree. And that's about it. There's no update on the boyfriend.
That's it.
That's
also,
all she wrote.
All right, boys, you ready for this next one? Yes, so let's go. My ex left due to cultural pressures. Now he wants to reconnect.
No, get out of here. I'm pressuring you out of my little cultural bubble.
Yeah, my culture is you're not in it. Sorry, pal. So I met my ex Raj during the beginning of my senior year of undergrad. I went to a fairly diverse university and we met at a party. We hit it off right away, which was surprising. You see, Raj is Indian and I am black. While that might not seem like a big deal to some, as I continue, you'll see why it is. Okay. By the way, this comes from Fried Chicken and Curry. Gotta love it. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So anyways, at my university, the Indian students tend to click up and keep to themselves. No biggie. I get it. It's a cultural thing and they have a lot in common with each other. That's why I was surprised when he approached me. I thought he was cute, so I started talking to him.
Ooh, talk that talk. Walk that
me,
walk. Move that booty into that other booty.
Booty. And at the end of the night, he asked me for my number. I gave it to him and he texted me that same night. The next day, we went on an official date and had been practically inseparable ever since. So this was like, dude, gets the number, texts, next day, date, like,
Dang,
we're
moving quick.
We are moving and grooving. And as we get to know each other, I learned that he was a first-generation Indian American and is the firstborn son. When he told me that, I didn't really take it beyond face value. I relayed that I'm the last-born daughter of Black Americans who have been here for generations, and we moved on. We had been dating for around 3 months before I realized I was in love. OP is as in love as Sam is tired.
So freaking cute.
Running on fumes and heart.
Oh.
He was smart, sweet, and funny, and would truly do anything for anyone except me.
Uh-oh.
Apparently.
Do I see a little wrench in your love car?
Put some ICUs in the comment if you see. What's about to happen? At the 7th or 8th month mark, I thought it was time to meet each other's families. It was clear that we were serious about each other and graduation would be coming up soon. My parents live out of state, as did his, but both would be flying in for the graduation, so I thought it would be a perfect opportunity. This makes sense. You know, almost at the year, meet the parents. Here we go.
Yep. Feels like it's about time.
Feels like it's about time. But I had already told them about Raj, and they had talked to him briefly on Skype a couple of times. I had only ever seen pictures of his family, however. He spoke about them relatively frequently and would say little things like, my mom is going to love you, or my sister likes X as well. You guys would probably get along. I had just assumed they knew about me and were fine with our relationship. I didn't think there was a reason they wouldn't be. I am detecting some lies of omission.
What lies of omission, Johnny Bahami?
The lies of omission being like, oh yeah, you and my sister would get along so great. Oh, my parents will love this cute thing you do. Oh, da 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 da. Well, that's not saying my parents don't know about you. My sister don't know about you.
Oh, you think this is a surprise?
I think this is a surprise, and not in like the fun birthday kind.
I'm thinking that there might be a little prejudice coming from these parents. I'm thinking a little bit of familial racism, or a little family dynamic. Thinking things are gonna get a little spicy.
Unfortunately, you might be right, Sam. You just might be right. Well, moving along, graduation comes up, and the week or so before, we got into a big fight about where our relationship was going after graduation, and he broke up with me.
I thought they were in love.
I'm going to admit, I did not see that coming. At least not at this point.
No, I thought it was going to be later.
Yeah, this is premature. I don't know what's going on here. I'm confused.
Okay.
The plan was we were going to be moving in together in the city we went to college in, but he wasn't sure anymore because he hadn't gotten a job offer yet. This was already after we went apartment hunting and signed a lease for the one I couldn't afford by myself.
Wait. So they signed a lease together?
Yes.
So are they going to still live together and not be in a relationship?
It might be one of those.
That's crazy.
I know of a situation that has happened.
Rough.
Just bad, bro.
Yeah, dude. This girl that I was dating was living with her ex-boyfriend after they broke up for like months, and also working with him.
Oh.
It's like she had because she got him that job. Oh, so brutal.
Because when they start seeing other people.
So brutal.
It's not good. Not advised.
Oh yeah, when they start saying like you're trying to like eat like some cereal in the morning and you just hear
some birds going off. Those are not the birds you want to hear.
She's practicing her clapping in the morning. It's weird.
Well, thanks for the round of applause. I'm just out here eating cereal. Nope. Well, he didn't think that I was being sympathetic or something like that, and that's why he ended the relationship. Looking back now, he picked the fight as an excuse. Foreshadowing. Of course, I was devastated, but my family came, and the high of getting my degree put a Band-Aid on things for a while. Like any girl fresh from a breakup with someone they still love, I was stalking his social media.
You gotta stalk.
Not advised, also.
That will only hurt you.
That will only hurt you. His family did indeed come to town, and they were all smiles in the pictures. We were in different schools within our huge university, so the odds of seeing him or his family during graduation were slim, so I didn't get my hopes up for accidentally bumping into them. I saw from his social media that after graduation, he went to India for a couple of weeks, and he looked like he was having the time of his life without OP.
I mean, I think that's fine. I don't see anything bad about that yet.
We gotta move on.
Gotta move on. Stop looking at him.
Green new pastures.
Mute
this way
him.
Here.
Mute him, or
Mute
just block him if it's really if you can't control yourself looking at his profile. But
put your phone in a blender.
Put your phone in a blender.
Take your computer and throw it in the ocean. Become a Mennonite.
Yeah,
there are solutions.
Throwing their computers in the ocean these days.
Dude, you give me technology, get that out of my face.
Get that
into the ocean.
Out of here.
That's what I was just saying. You have solutions, OP. Anyways, I moved into the apartment that we had picked out since it was going to be hard to break the lease. Thankfully, my dad picked up some of the slack on the rent. Okay, so OP just
so OP's moving in.
Yeah,
but the guy isn't moving in with.
The guy isn't moving in, but she's got rent helps.
Okay,
seems
that's a win.
Doable.
Also, Josephine Madolo, Miller Payne, Donna Hirschman says, "ICU arranged marriage."
The question is, if that's true, when was it?
When was it arranged?
Was he already married before?
Or like betrothed,
Yeah, they decided.
Yeah, they decided.
That, Josephine, you might be onto something. So thankfully, my dad picked up some of the slack on the rent. It was a 1-bedroom, which is why I couldn't get a roommate and began my career. A little over a month after graduation, I got a knock on my door.
Uh-oh.
Who's that? It's Raj.
Why is he just showed up?
Is this a mirage? Why am I seeing Raj?
Okay, yeah. Why are we seeing Raj?
You think I'm still in love with you and I want a menage? Stop that. So he's holding flowers, looking apologetic and cute and like a fool. I let him in.
No.
Oh, God.
Cut the crap.
Cut it out. He explains that he was stressed about being an adult and just wanted to be able to pull his weight in the relationship. He didn't want me to be paying the majority of rent while he worked a minimum wage job while hoping to get an offer in his chosen fields, and that made sense to me.
No, don't make it make sense. This is weird.
Yeah, because
he hasn't talked to you at all.
He hasn't talked to you at all. He
just came back from India. Maybe his arranged thing didn't work out or whatever. Or he's coming crawling back to you.
He's coming crawling back. Because I'm wondering why OP didn't respond back with, well, why didn't you just ask me if I felt that way? Maybe OP's like, I don't care. I just wanted to live with you and have you be my boo.
Yeah. Maybe it's like an insecurity thing.
We got to talk about it. While I couldn't call him misogynistic, being the head of the household was definitely important to him. I forgave him, and we got back together.
No.
Poll.
No.
Poll. I need a poll.
No.
Break up or
Just
not?
Me says he was hiding her in his little hidey hole.
His other boo thing.
I think maybe he was just hiding from the parents. Maybe his parents are like, I don't want you, I want you dating someone that is culturally relevant to us or something.
Yeah, the conspiracy theory too of maybe it wasn't even a whole marriage, but maybe his parents found someone.
Yeah.
They pressured him into doing it, and then he was like, man, screw this, I'm out. But he still hasn't revealed the full situation. I feel like that's what's going to happen. Let me know what you think in the comments and vote in the poll. But we're going to keep going. So while he was away, he got a job offer and was making more than enough to be an equal partner and above that. We were very happy, but I still had yet to meet his family.
Why? I mean, I guess what? It's been a year, more than a year now?
Almost certainly more than a year because they've graduated. She's moved in. I feel like bare minimum a few months, if not 6+ months have passed from now. He went to India for a few weeks. Time has passed.
And India is not a easy flight.
No. He had met my parents during the Thanksgiving holiday, and I mentioned going to his for Christmas, but we ended up spending it separately. Time went on, and I stopped pushing it, but would still bring it up occasionally. And then I got pregnant a little more than 2 years into the relationship.
Oh, geez, that's complicated. Wait, so we still haven't met the parents, and
We are
it's 2
still-
years in?
And baby is baking in the oven.
On the way.
Baby's in the oven.
Oh, boy, that complicates things.
This complicates
That
things a lot.
complicates things. I am not feeling very confident about this relationship right now.
I'm not. Hey, listen, we love to be optimistic on the show. We
Yes,
love
we
to
do.
think that a big turnaround is going to happen.
Sunshine and
rainbows. But I don't know if I'm going to see it in this one. I don't know, Keon, if you're feeling any differently. If you think there's some
what do you think,
plot
Keon?
twist hiding around the corner.
Well, the baby's the plot twist now.
Yeah,
That's
dude, that is
true.
a big plot twist.
True.
Facts.
Hey, parents, guess what I got?
Pregnant.
Or now you're going to be grandparents.
Yeah, is that enough to be like, hey, I know I didn't tell you about anything, but here's a surprise, baby?
I mean, also, maybe it's like, hey, this is my new girlfriend. I know she's like different than what you expected, but grandbaby.
Exactly.
You got the grandbaby collateral.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it could be. It could be.
I
And
know how much they love those grandbabies.
oh, dude, listen.
Grand parental rights, though, that is a thing.
They are listen, these grandparents out here, they be liking them babies for some reason.
Yeah.
By the way, currently 97% of chat is saying to break up and not move forward. That was probably before the baby though. But
You want to do a reset now?
let's do just one more, just for kicks and giggles. Let us know what you think. And if you're watching this in the comments, please tell us if you think they should stay together, especially after the baby. That does change things. But we're going to find out how it does. So I got pregnant a little more than 2 years into our relationship. He was excited. I was excited. We were excited. Marriage became more than just an idea, and we were talking about tying the knot after the baby was born. With a child on the way, family became even more important to me. I pushed harder than ever to meet his parents. I was always met with an excuse.
Dude, why?
Oh, because they're out of the country. His mom was sick. We couldn't afford the airfare. There was already family visiting them, and he didn't want to bombard them, etc., etc.
I mean, it could be that it could potentially be like, I totally lost my train of thought.
You know what it could be? It could be catfish. Because in catfish, they don't want you to see the partner. This is a parental catfish where he's like, I'm an orphan.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I could be that legitimately it's too far and like too expensive.
But like no FaceTime, no
Yeah, no
texts,
FaceTime. That's
no-
right.
That's the thing. It's like, okay, yeah, maybe we can't visit them, but something.
Yeah.
Give me a phone call.
Yeah. Melanie says flights to India can be $3,000 sometimes. So yes, expensive, but to John's point,
WhatsApp is free.
WhatsApp is free.
Talk to him. Just that we should have this by now. But Opie goes on to say, the 9 months flew by and I gave birth to a healthy baby boy. My family was there. His wasn't.
His family wasn't there for the birth of your kid?
As far as we know right now,
Bro.
zero contact.
Bro.
Not even a gift, a card, or a call.
Do they even exist?
I
don't believe they exist.
Either they don't exist, which would be like, hey, it's okay. Like if you don't have a family unit like that, you deserve to love. Or, and I honestly, this is the one that I think is the reality. There is a reason why he doesn't want to introduce her to his parents. That is,
I still got my money on racism.
I honestly, I think that's what it's going to end up being. By the way, we're not even halfway done, ladies and gentlemen. So there's more to the saga. Don't think we're ending here. So Opie says, I remember asking if they even knew I was pregnant, and he just dismissed the question. So 6 months after giving birth, I gave Raj an ultimatum. You set up a meeting with your family or I will be contacting them. I had never done it before because I didn't feel like I should be the one to make that step, but I had had enough. I'm the mother of their grandson/nephew, and he deserves to know that side of himself and learn about his culture. And I have a quick question for you, Sam.
Yes.
Do you think we're usually anti-ultimatum, but do you think in this specific case that the ultimatum was justified?
So, and I will.
Yeah, this thing is. There we go. There it is.
So I'm gonna fix this in a bit, but basically, she's saying if I don't meet your family, it's over. I think we need to ask. She needs to make a request first. Where I think often ultimatums are like, if you don't do this, I will do this. And I think instead just make a request, because I think if she makes it a threat, then he's less likely to do the thing that she wants.
Yeah.
So just say like, hey, I want to get closer to you. I want to feel comfortable in this relationship. Can you Like, I'd like to meet your parents. Like, I think it's really important to me. It's really important for me in feeling like we have a family to meet your parents. And you obviously have them or something. And if he says no to the request, then I think that's when you bring us like, I don't know if I can
continue.
I don't know if I can continue. And Justine says she's been requesting for 2 years. Yeah, but I think now it's like, make the request again. If it's completely done, then say like, hey, I don't know if I can be in this relationship.
Yeah, I think, I mean, she had, we don't know exactly what those conversations were, but one more, I mean, I think she has been asking for years. Honestly, I think she might be in the place now where it's like, hey, but I think the phrasing of it is important. Like, hey, I don't know if I can continue being in a relationship if we don't meet your parents.
Yeah. I think you do one more request just because like maybe it hasn't been brought up in a sec.
Yeah.
And then, but like immediately after you make the request, then it's like,
yeah.
hey, like, I don't know if I can be in a
ticking.
relationship.
Clock is ticking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jen Thompson said he's disowned or already married. That, man, if it's already married and he just kind of like ran away from that could be interesting. I'm not sure. But we're going to get back to the story. So finally, he gave in. Turns out he was lying about where they lived and they were actually a couple of hours away. I was beyond pissed, and on the way there, he tried to explain that he kept me away for my own sake, but I wasn't hearing it at the time. We get to his hometown, and we meet his mom, dad, and one of his siblings at a restaurant. I was hella nervous, and Raj was petrified. It still didn't click for me. We sit down for dinner, and immediately I'm uncomfortable. To say they were shocked to see me and my son was an understatement. I mean, that's kind of a shock. That's kind of a shocker to see. Yeah, for real. If he didn't say anything, that's going to be crazy. His parents barely acknowledged my son, though his sister did coo at him until the father gave her a look to stop. Raj explained who I am, and the entire dinner, they refused to speak English, let alone look at me.
Oh my God.
There was a lot of angry voices and gesturing in my direction. Raj tried his best to reply in English and defend me, but as the verbal, harmful act got worse, he stopped replying in English. I guess so I could be completely in the dark about what they were saying about me.
Again, I think it's a bit of racism.
Dude.
It's got to be. Also, like, messed up of him to get OP so deep into this relationship and not reveal this.
1,000%. And to, like, I mean, I want, it's not explicitly clear. I wonder if this was him just sitting down and being like surprised, or if he told them at all in advance. If he didn't tell them at all in advance, like,
it feels like he didn't tell them at all.
Yeah. And then they're just seeing it for the first time and they're like, So here we go. Since I was being shut out, I began putting the pieces together in my head. He had never told them about me. So there we go. They didn't know we had a son. They would never accept their son was with a non-Indian. Racism.
We called it.
Got it.
We called it.
Needless to say, I had had enough and we left. On the car ride home, he was extremely apologetic, told me he loved me, that he would cut them off if I wanted to, that he knew they would react that way, and that's why he didn't introduce us. Just to pause real quick right there.
You're not saving anyone. I hate the arguments like, oh, I didn't want to hurt you, so I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
Like, that gets us nowhere.
Yes, because where are we now?
Because now we're into this situation where OP has not been informed of this like relationship dynamic with your parents and now is caught with a baby in your life.
Yeah. And, just to say it, like, it seems like the parents are awful and racist and maybe this won't work out. But what if he had just gone to them and tried to give them a chance?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
he didn't give him a chance. He didn't
even give him a chance.
This came out in the worst possible way.
Yeah.
This came out in the worst possible
failing
way.
on all fronts.
Yeah.
I asked a few questions, including how he had kept me a secret for so long. He said he had a separate social media and would overall just lie whenever they asked if he was in a relationship.
What is with these liar stories? Jeez.
Yeah, this is lies on lies today. He broke up with me on purpose during graduation to keep me from meeting them. On his trip to India, he was surprised to be meeting a girl he was to marry. So that one was also true. Shout out to Josephine.
We called it. Chat.
Dude.
Come on. We're the dream team right here.
Wow. But he didn't go through with that marriage because he loved me. I was pissed, of course, but I got it.
No. Wait. No. What?
I did some research and saw that it isn't uncommon for Indian American children to hide their non-Indian significant others from their families. Indians have such a strong culture that going outside of it is still taboo to many. I mean, I know there are still prejudices in this world, believe me, I do, but I thought that if they got to know me and their grandchild, it would be okay. That's what I would have hoped to.
Yeah,
OP.
I don't know. I feel like OP is too understanding.
Yeah, this is a lot. So what does OP do, Sam? What does OP do, chat?
Leaves?
I didn't break up with him.
No.
Nor did I demand he cut off his family. They cut him off, though.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. I could tell it bothered him, and I began to fear he'd resent me. I mean, yes, but how do you feel, OP? He didn't, though, and we began to move on with our lives. It was a couple of months after my son's first birthday that Raj got a call in the middle of the night. His father had passed away from a heart attack.
Oh, no. The news literally killed his dad. Oh, no.
What?
Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh, no.
How did we get here? This is insane. Wow.
Oh. I wonder if Raj is going to feel responsible.
Ooh. And then does Raj take it the next level up and say, if I had just broken up with you, if you would just let me go, he, would still be.
Or maybe in a better way, if I had told them earlier, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
Hopefully.
If I didn't blackmail them with my baby mama, just like out of the, like literally surprise attack.
Yeah.
With my significant other, with a baby. Like,
dude.
That is a surprise to anyone.
Yeah.
Regardless of like race. But yeah, he did it the worst way.
Well, he said, I wanted to be there for him, but given the way his family felt about me, I knew I wouldn't be able to go to the funeral to process this at his side. He flew to India for a few weeks, and during that time, our communication was low. I chalked it up to the time difference and him being busy. When he got back, though, I could tell something was off. I have another ICU.
Okay.
I have another ICU. His family was able to guilt him into agreeing to marry another woman that they wanted to.
His father's last request.
No.
Whoa.
His father's dying wish.
Keon, you might have just done that.
I hope not.
You might have just done that. You might have just predicted that.
Oh, that is tragic.
This could be.
Tell me.
So he was barely back home a day before he told me that he was the man of the family and he had to honor that. I cried and I asked him not to leave, but he said he had to. He packed up and he left.
Just like that.
What about man of the family you created?
Yeah. Your kid. What about your kid? You're just gonna abandon your kid?
Being a man of the family doesn't mean abandoning the literal family you create. That to me, if we're gonna use the phrase "be the man of the family,"
apply to your actual child.
Yeah, that's where it should be applied. Like, listen, everyone else, they cut you off.
Yeah.
How is it fair? And how does it make sense that it's like, oh, they cut me off, but now I need to be there for them. They didn't need you.
Make
apparently.
it make sense. It doesn't make sense.
During that time he was gone, he would send money for our son every couple of months, but overall, I didn't hear from him.
Hey, at least he's doing that.
Something, I guess. Of course, I was devastated, but more so for my son. I so wanted him to grow up with a father like I did. I would send Raj photos and keep him up to date on my little bear, but he wouldn't respond. It was radio silence, and that's when I got pissed. Now?
Finally. You deserve to be pissed way earlier.
Yeah. Dude, Katie Paladin says, no spine. No spine, dude. Come on. Mommy Dessert says, your mother is no longer your priority, dude. Your child is. Yes. I stopped sending pics and messages and basically said, F him, it's just me and my son. Now, so that you're all caught up, here's my dilemma.
There wasn't a dilemma before?
Oh, Sammy.
This is the dilemma. Okay.
Oh, chat.
I'm buckling in.
Keon. Oh,
buckle.
Earth.
Oh, baby.
There's a dilemma because he's back.
Oh, he's back.
Daddy's back.
He's worse than before, somehow.
He's pulling this move again. Once again, he showed up at my doorstep. I slammed it in his face this time. He knocked until I threatened to call the cops. He left after that, but showed up the next day. And the next. And the next.
Restraining order.
Yeah, dude. At this point, you're entitled to a girl. And finally, for my son's sake, and okay, mine too, I let him inside. He explained that after his father passed away, his family basically blamed him for it.
Yep.
He called that. He called that.
Yeah.
They said the stress of the dishonor he caused by being with me sent his dad to an early grave. He let them guilt him into leaving us and going back to them. Once again, they tried to marry him off, and once again, he didn't go through with it. He said he still loved me, loved our son, missed us, and hated that he abandoned us. He said he knew that he'd have to earn my trust, but he wants to be a family again. This was yesterday. So here's the question. Do I take him back? I still love him, but trust is shattered. I don't know if it can ever be repaired.
Nah, dude. Nah.
How
Don't
can
take
we?
him back. No.
How can we?
Take those checks, though, all the way to the bank from him, but don't take him back. He does not deserve your trust.
Get that child support. I don't know if it can ever be repaired. If I don't take him back now, how much access should I give him, our son? I don't want him to get attached to his father only for Raj to disappear the next time there's a family emergency. And lastly, has anyone else had this problem? We have an edit coming up.
Oh, boy.
We have relevant comments with the community weighing in and an update. Guys,
oh, my God.
The whole kit and caboodle.
That is a lot.
But we've already answered the question. No. Don't get back together with him. I do wonder, though, and I'm very curious on chat with anyone that has experienced any situation or seen a similar situation, what should we do on child custody? Because he could just dip and leave on the child again, like OP mentioned.
I mean, I think don't give him the opportunity to... I think the default should be like giving him the opportunity to prove that he can be a good dad to this kid.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be good, but for sure don't take him back. But I think like let him spend some time with the kid. But I feel like you should have main custody maybe with him, like having some visitation rights. D-Red says don't take him back, but co-parent. The reason I was like not co-parent right away because it doesn't sound like he's putting any effort into thinking about this kid.
Yeah, I think like honestly, I feel like it might be best to. We've seen this in a couple cases where like OP gets full custody from the partner that's wronged them, and then they give it a long time, like talking years, and then they decide, okay, have they earned like the legal right to like a percentage?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But man, do not get back together with this guy.
Don't do it.
Jen Thompson says she gets full physical custody and she keeps all legal documents of her child.
Yeah. And they can pay child support. That's another big part of the equation. So edit. I have read everyone's comments so far, and I truly appreciate all the advice. I'm on a lunch break, so I want to be brief and address a couple of things. He is not staying with me currently. We only talked for maybe 30 to 45 minutes the other night. Someone asked me if his parents knew I was black or not before the dinner, and I can only assume by their face that they didn't. Many of you pointed out that me excusing his behavior because of his cultural ties needs to stop, and I see that now. I'm meeting with Raj again tonight to iron out a few things. I will give a formal update later on in the week on what we talk about, but I need to do a couple of things first. Mainly, go see a lawyer. Thanks again.
Nice.
Commenter number 1 says, Indian here, this guy is crap. He's a coward and doesn't deserve you. And a reply to that, Indian Muslim woman here, this is not religion, this is culture. This is cowardice. Tell him he must learn to stand up for his own family that he has began with you. How can he claim that it's a product of an obligation to his family when he is neglecting his own family in the process?
We said that.
Said that. Commenter number 2 says, I would allow him to be in his son's life, but I wouldn't date him. Definitely not date him. Yeah. Make it clear that you care, but you need some more stability in your life. I understand he's torn between you and his family. That has to be hard. I get why he did what he did, but you and your son's feelings matter too, and they matter a lot, I would say. Your son needs a dad who's willing to stay in his life. It seems like your ex cares, so he needs to get his priorities in line. And we have our update coming up.
I'm down to get straight into it. I mean, I feel like we addressed all those comments already.
It's all there.
We're Reddit geniuses.
All that's left is to see how the chips fall.
Let's see them.
All right, let's get into the update. Hello again, everyone. I just wanted to thank everyone for their advice and kind words for my last post. It seemed that the consensus was that Raj was just using his culture as an excuse to be a coward and not to trust him or take him back. Many also suggested that I talk to a lawyer to get sole custody of my son and to get child support ironed out. So, the day I posted, it was a day or two after Raj showed up. I was shocked to say the least, and my mind was everywhere. But the next day, Raj showed up again with my knowledge this time to discuss a few things. I had dropped my son off at my best friend's house for the time being so we could talk with no interruptions, and the conversation went well. I made it clear that for the foreseeable future, we will not be getting back together. I made sure that he knew that I did not trust him and that at the moment, I didn't even like who he was as a person.
Good. OP, stand your ground.
Yeah, lay it out on the table.
Stand your ground.
Yes. And I think it's also good just to know like exactly where she stands. You know what I mean? He asked if I still loved him, and I answered honestly that I did. Whoa. But at this point in time, it didn't matter. He didn't really remark on that, but seemed to take it at face value. He said that he understood why we couldn't be together, but that he'd wait for me to be ready again. I told him not to hold his breath and that he needed to focus on being a father, not a boyfriend, which brings me to the next and most important part of the conversation. I told him that, again, for the foreseeable future, he would only be having supervised visits with our son under my discretion. Good. We would be meeting at a specific place at a specific time, and he missed one meeting, all bets were off. I like it. You got to make him get on it. I also did not want my son to be in contact with anyone from his family.
Especially if they're like racist or anything. You don't want your kid anywhere near that.
This could absolutely destroy this kid's like sense of self and character and self-secureness, 100%. He said that when he left his family and cut contact with them, his sister left too. The same sister that was at the dinner and looked sympathetic to me and my son. Apparently, she realized what was happening was wrong and decided to take a stand. I was wary of his sister and told him that I'd have to meet her and speak with her a few times before I would be comfortable with her around my son. I informed Raj that I was going to see a lawyer to talk about custody and child support. He said ultimately, like a few years ago, he would like close to 50-50 split.
No way. You haven't earned that at all. What world do you think you can have that?
And it's like very concerning that he has the gall to ask that. Like I could see him being like, listen, I want to work towards 50-50. I know I don't deserve it right now, so we'll get there. This was not it.
Yeah.
This was not it. He would go with whatever I wanted, ultimately. He also threw out a number for child support, more than what I was thinking, and we agreed to that number. Of course, we will get all of this legally taken care of because his word is crap. At the end of the conversation, I suggested he go and see someone about his family issues and the guilt he feels, and he mentioned that he had already looked into it. I'm not sure if that meant he has been going or what, but as of right now, I'm not going to push it, and I think that basically means like going to see a therapist, someone who could counsel him on this. So that initial conversation was great. I went and saw a lawyer, and he said with our history, I would have no problem getting everything I asked for, especially since Raj isn't putting up a fight.
Nice.
At least that's a win. At least we've got a win there. We have an appointment with a mediator in the next few weeks to make it legally binding. Ever since he's been back, Raj has been calling every day to talk to our son. A few days after our second conversation, he brought a check for the back child support, something that I hadn't yet asked for, nor was expecting so quickly.
Okay. I mean, it seems like he's showing up finally.
These are great examples of the steps you need to be taking.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to repair everything, but I think it can get you to a better place than you are now.
Yes, this is what you should be doing. He's been showing up for all of our meetups early at that and spends the entire time with our son, not trying to get back with me. That's also another good point. This was something I was worried about, but he's been trying to prove that he can be a father. Before he left, I would have said he was an excellent hands-on dad, and it looks like this guy is coming back. But again, it's only been 3 weeks. I'll be more confident once he's been consistent for 6 months, a year, 2 years. You get the idea. So yesterday, I met with him and his sister without my son. And she seems like a nice person. She was really apologetic and even cried. And apparently, on top of thinking it was wrong the way his parents acted, she was sapphic and her orientation is frowned upon by their mother.
Okay.
So basically,
she's like the black sheep of the family too. So
exactly.
She understands like what it means to be on the outside.
Yes. Which honestly, kind of great that I think the siblings have each other.
You kind of have like an eternal champion.
Yeah, 100%. As an aside, I don't want anyone to think all Indian people are discriminatory closet guards. Can't interpret that one. Racists, basically. Especially since a lot of people of the same or similar culture were commenting on my last post saying they'd experienced something similar. But Raj's family are some seriously judgmental people. Together, they tried to show me proof that they had cut off their family. They showed me unanswered texts, played me angry voicemails that weren't in English but sounded mad, and Raj translated. He showed me an email that his mother had sent that was in English, basically telling him that if he came back now and married the girl they had lined up for him, all would be forgiven, but if he didn't, he was disowned.
Wow.
They would never talk to him again.
I mean, that's going to be tough for Raj too. I mean, like definitely he's been in the wrong, but not an easy thing to get cut off from your family. But if their family's going to cut you off for this reason, then maybe they aren't the best to be around anyway.
Yeah. And, I do have some good news. If you are worried about getting cut off from us.
Oh, yeah?
It's literally impossible.
Impossible.
And you know why that is, Sam?
Why is that?
Because we have over 2,000 podcast episodes for you to binge at your heart's content.
Put those in your ear holes.
That's right.
Get married to them.
Go to Spotify, Apple, or the iHeartRadio app and search OK Storytime, and you can binge all of our podcast episodes for more insane plot-twisting stories like this one. We're about at the end, but I mean, I don't know if there's anything left to say we haven't already said.
Yeah, I mean, I think the relationship is going in the right direction at the very least. But that is saying very little because it was going extremely deeply into the the wrong direction.
Yeah. Give it those years OP mentioned, and then we can talk. But to close this out, OP says his reply to saying that he'd be cut off was that he was with his family and that he was not going to leave us again. It seemed to be legit, but I am skeptical. Nothing but time will fix that. So there you have it. Raj is being a father. We are not getting to get back together anytime soon, if at all, and he has cut off his family for good, hopefully. I know many said that I shouldn't even given him another chance to be in our son's life, but making that decision would not have been fair to my son. Raj knows this is his last chance and that he better not F up.
He better not F up.
Listen.
But hey, I think OP now finally got a little spine, went from noodle to maybe some wood spine.
Oh yeah.
And is putting down the things that she needs to make a relationship work for her. So I feel like there's been character development on OP's side, and also some character development on Raj's side. Like, not great, but he is making moves. He is paying for the kids. So feels like we are ending in a better place than we started.
Absolutely. And hey, as long as they continue on, I think this should be good.
Yeah. But I want to. But I think we can't continue on in this episode.
We can't
because
it's illegal.
It's done. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you,
and see you tomorrow.